Welcome to Wildcat Sports Update. I'm your host, Jim Boyle, and today in studio I have the honor and pleasure of having our boys cross country captains and seniors with us to discuss cross country and all the fun things that includes. So with me today I have Dean Ciampa and I have Spencer Bagtaz. And why don't you guys give a quick introduction? We're going to start with you, Spencer.
I'm Spencer Bagtaz. As you said, I'm a senior. Yeah.
How many years have you done cross country?
Oh, right. I've done cross country for 3 years, since my sophomore year.
Okay, and Dean?
I'm Dean Ciampa. I'm a senior. I'm the other captain, and I've also done cross country for 3 years.
Okay, so both of you are 3-year veterans. That's good to see. Dean, start off with you. What were the goals beginning of the season that you guys set for individual and team?
All right, individually, my goal was to run under 17 in the 5K. Still working on it. I went under 17 during our dual meet against Watertown, but it was not a 5K, I guess, is a little short. So maybe I went under 17. And as a team, our goal is to get to all states, and we have our state meet November 9th. So that's when we'll find out if we make it.
Okay, and Spencer, what about you? What's your team goal, individual goal? I say team goal probably
Team
the same.
goal is the same thing, yeah, just to make it to all states. Individual goal, I started off the season, I wanted to break a 19 in the 5K, just because last year I got close and then I got injured, so I was out for the rest of the season last year. But I came back this year with the goal to break 19, and I was actually successful, at least at our home course.
Okay, so deviating from that, you were injured, and I think you were out most of last year, correct, Dean? And Dean was out. So what is it like coming back from an injury for your senior season? And was it a long road back, or was it simple because it was a year? So, Dean, we'll start with you.
Well, yeah, last year I missed like 90% of the entire season. I mean, I ran the first meet and I ran the last meet. And the middle of the season, I didn't run. Mainly because I run in the winter and the spring. That was like my opportunity to really work to getting back to where I was. And I think by the end of the spring, I got there. Relearning how to run specifically a 5K has been kind of tough this season, but I'm starting to finally see some improvement from where I was, a year or two ago.
That's good. Spencer, how about you?
It was difficult last year. I had PT appointments every day because I strained my quad. It was disappointing not able to run, but then I kind of reset during swim season. Because that was like my main sport. Not that this isn't like a sport that I love. But I kind of got like a reset, and then during spring track, which I also do, I kind of got back into running slowly. And then this year, it was nice to see that like improvement over the summer and
so that's a great perseverance story. Getting yourself back, doing different sports. You swimming, and you did both track, indoor and outdoor, and winter and summer, spring, whatever those are. Makeup of the team, Spencer. What are we looking at? How many boys are running cross country at the high school? And what's the freshman, sophomore, junior, senior mix?
So I'm not entirely sure on the numbers we have.
Don't have to be exact.
Not exact, but like for seniors, there's only Dean and I, which is nice. We're close like that. Juniors, we have a decent amount. They make up. I want to say they make up 5 of the, not 5 of the 7. Yes, 5. No, 4 of the 7. 4 of the top 7 on the team. So I think we have 5 of them. Sophomores, there's a little less. I think 2 or 3, and then freshmen, we have a bunch of younger kids on the team this year, which is nice to see. Because then next year we won't have to rebuild as much.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
with cross country, we have the waivers for the 8th graders, so we have like 2 or 3 8th graders on our team too that get to compete.
So, Dean, to you, who are the featured runners? So you place like 1 through 5, or how's that work? It's scoring. We'll talk about that later. But who are the featured runners?
Well, myself, and then Gavin Dong he's been having a tremendous season. Cooper Holleran just had a really big meet at the league meet, and then our other 2 in the top 5 are Jake Cronin and David Dinan.
Okay, and talk about the meets. How'd the season go? Dual meet record. What was? Do you guys know? I don't want to put you on the spot, so let's let Spencer answer that one. How was dual meet? What was the record and how did it go?
The record, we were 2 and 3 this year. We lost to the Middlesex League is competitive, especially for like track and cross country. So we lost to 3 very competitive teams. Not that we didn't do great in those races. Cross country, it's an individual and a team sport, so you work together, but you also work to improve against your own times, which is kind of the beauty of the sport. So we lost against 3 very, very strong teams. And then we won against 2 other teams, which we kind of had a thought that we were going to win, but we still went into it and gave it our all.
Okay, and I think you had mentioned the goal was to get to the state meet, correct?
The all-state meet.
All-state
So all-state
meet.
meet is like it's essentially like our like championship, I guess.
Okay, and to do that, what did you have? That's coming up. You have a meet to get to there.
Yeah. So we have our state meet is November 9th, and we have to, as a team, we have to score in the top 6 teams, I think. I think it's the top 6 teams at the all-state meet move on, or at the state meet move on to all-states. So I think we're projected to be like number 2 at our state meet. So we're gonna go out and just try and win it, and we'll see how it goes.
Okay, so just so people know, the state meet is our division that we're in. Like we're
Yeah, it's
Division 4 or
it's our
whatever.
divisional meet.
Okay,
It's just
divisional
like
meet.
track and field. We know it as the state meet, but you would think of it as our divisionals.
So if you finish top 6 divisionals, you move on to all states.
Yeah.
And then, what's your goal if you get to all states? What's your goal, Spencer?
Honestly, for my personal self, I don't know about like everyone else on the team, or anyone else that's running, but I just want to give it my all at all states. You know, all states, it's going to be you're running and you're there to compete and you're there to run. So it's really going to be just go out and give it your all for myself.
Okay, Dean, what's individual? Is there a team goal in all states? Is there something you guys really like? Do you want to be state champions?
Yeah. I mean, of course we want to be.
That's like the dumbest question I could ask.
I think the all-state meet is kind of I don't think we have anyone that's really going to be going to nationals, not on the boys team, but so the all-state meet would be our last meet, assuming we qualify for it. So it's just our last opportunity to go out and just run like our hardest race of the season and see what we can do.
Good. I like those answers, and I know we're very competitive in cross country, both boys and girls, which is good. You say you two are the only seniors. You're also the captains, which is one of the reasons you get to sit here and speak to me on Wildcat Sports Update. Dean, what do you see your role as the captain? How would you describe your role as a captain?
Oh, that's a tough question. Well, I guess I lead everyone else, but really, I just try to keep people engaged with the sport. We had a lot of new freshmen this year, and that was a big thing for us because last season we had a couple people join at the beginning of the season, and by 2 weeks in, we lost all of our freshmen. We didn't have any class of 2027, I think, last year. So this year is just about making sure that everyone's engaged and having fun because, we need to keep growing the team so it keeps going after him and I are gone.
Good. And Spencer, what do you see your role as the captain?
I always like to have fun. You know that. Yes. So I always try and bring an energy to the team. Even no one's really had a bad race or a bad season this year. So it's always great that I don't have to like boost morale as much as other teams might have to. But just keeping that high energy and like Dean said, keeping those freshmen and those younger kids interested in the sport is going to be huge for the future of the team.
Okay, and you guys are both captains, so you're both part of the athletic director, Dennis Ingram, has started what he calls the Captain's Council. Takeaways from that, what have you learned? You've been a captain, you are a swimming captain too, right, Spencer? Mm-hmm. So what have you learned from the Captain's Council that you're going to take on to the team and into the future?
The benefit of being a captain last year, because we also had a winter captain's council as well. So I've used stuff from both. There's been some similarities, some differences. Especially this year with the Wildcat app, that's been a huge thing. But definitely they help a lot. They teach not necessarily like leadership in general. I mean, leadership's a big part, but they teach how to be a leader that the kids specifically on your team can look up to, and that's definitely something that I've held close when dealing with any tough situations we've had on the team. All
right, indeed, same thing. Your Captain's Council, what have you taken away? Is there any special stories or anecdotes that Ingram has given you or that you bring forward?
I mean, I think it really teaches you how to lead by example, I guess, which is my preferred way of leading. He teaches you a lot about how to have a winning mindset, how to persevere when you're going through a rough patch, like what you need to say to yourself, not to think negatively, but to think positively. And that's when you're going to see yourself succeed, and how that positive mindset kind of like finds its way in through the rest of the team.
Good. So it is a beneficial
thing
that
definitely.
we're doing. So shout out to AD Ingram for bringing that to the forefront. The other thing about being a captain is you get to control things on the bus, and you have team dinners. So Spencer, starting with you, team dinners, how many did you have? Were they mixed team dinners with the girls or separate? And what was the best team dinner you got to do? I
don't know the exact number, but we have a team dinner before every meet. It's a lot of fun. We do them mixed with the girls because, I mean, if we're going to the same meets, why not have the same team dinner? The best one I've been to, I really go for the food. The food's always the best part. I'm a big chicken parm guy, and so a lot of people have gotten tremezzos, and chicken parm is that's the stuff where it's at.
Is there anyone that stands out though? Come on, let's put you on the spot. I'm going to put you on the spot. Anyone that really stands out?
I want to say Dean's team dinner was the first one, and so the first one for the season kind of like set the standard for them. It definitely stood out too. You know, we went on a little walk as a team, just like it was the first one, so we all like socially bonded, got to know each other a bit, and it was that's if I had to choose one, it would be that one. But they're all great overall.
All right, Dean, you're up. Team dinner, and then you're going to also, because you guys are both music guys. You're going to talk about music on the bus, who's playing it, how's it working, and but let's start with dinner. Best dinner you've had, and most fun, and what are you getting out of it?
All right, well, I mean, first off, what we're getting out of these team dinners is it's really bringing the team together. Especially because we do them co-ed with the girls team, it makes the culture just a little bit different than is with track and field. Because track and field, the boys team and the girls team are very much separated, I feel like. But cross country, everyone's pretty much in it together. So yeah, these team dinners, they bring us together. You know, we all have a lot of fun. I think my favorite team dinner, probably Addie Hunt's team dinner. So shout out to Addie. Because I got to play foosball with John Hunt, and he kicked my butt, and I also got to play Rocket League, so that was fun.
Oh, that's good. And music on the bus. How's that work? First of all, does the coach let you have music going to games?
Yeah. Patron lets us have music.
Okay.
You'd think I would be the go-to guy. I get aux every now and then, but really, it's Jake Cronin and Gavin Dung that control most of the aux. They play a lot of Kanye, a lot of country. This is interesting because it doesn't really get me hyped, but I mean, if it works for everyone else, then it works for me.
Okay. And Spencer, you agree with that on the music?
I do. I mean, I can kind of see the country. It's like the country's been more and more on the longer bus rides. Like the one that I noticed the most was on Twilight because we went all the way down to the Cape Cod Fairgrounds, which meant that it was going to be 3 hours, 3-hour bus ride. So
3 hours of country music. God bless you guys. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, but it definitely towards when we get closer, they get like the more hype songs going. And it's definitely. It adds an atmosphere. Like if you don't want to listen, you can put your AirPods in and stuff, but it adds more of like a collective atmosphere with people kind of shouting out suggestions. Then they'll hear it later in the queue, and it's really nice.
So who gave those two keys to the kingdom is the question I have. Gavin and Cronin, who gave those two guys the keys?
Well, you know, they have a commanding presence, and they're pretty passionate about their opinions on music, so I gave it up. It's really competitive, you know. It's really stressful being on aux because you play one bad song and everyone's all on you. So I gave that up. It wasn't for me.
Okay, good. So we got that squared away. It's a tough, lot of pressure, and we'll go with that. You've run cross country probably all over the Middlesex League. You've run some meets and other invitationals and states. What is your favorite course to run, Spencer?
I want to say if all the different courses, there's courses that don't have hills, courses that have hills. But Twilight's probably my favorite because there's just a lot of the atmosphere there. It's all at night and it's like packed with kids. And it's great because no matter where you run, there's going to be someone out there cheering for you, even if they're not even on your team, which is great. And the atmosphere is great. There's Christmas lights lining the course. It's not too bad hill-wise, but it's definitely one of my favorite courses.
All right, Dean, your favorite course to run? You got one that sticks out?
See, everybody loves Twilight, and it's a great course. But, I mean, personally, it's kind of a sleeper pick. We just ran at Watertown's new course. They changed their course this year, and it's right along the Charles River. And it's right along a main road, but there's also some woods paths. And I thought it was very peaceful, very scenic course, and I enjoyed that one very much.
Okay, do you guys feel like you had an advantage running at home versus running on the road? Because is our course unique in a sense, or is it the same, or are they similar? Where do we get a home court advantage, Dean?
Well, I mean, we have that advantage just from knowing the course. You know, like if you're not from Wilmington, then you're going to be like, oh, wait, when's the next turn or something. But we're well known for having like the most level course, flattest course, and fastest course in the Middlesex League. So that helps us if we're against, say, people that are like more distance-focused runners. But if we're going against someone that's got a lot of speed, then they're going to excel on the flat course. So we have some bit of an advantage and some bit of a disadvantage.
Spencer, for you, what's the toughest course you ran in the Middlesex League? The toughest course.
Toughest course?
There's only one right answer.
Whoa, challenge.
That's a lot of pressure.
He threw down the gauntlet on you there, Spencer.
See, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get that right because last year when I didn't run, I heard the worst course was the Melrose course.
Okay, well, I also didn't run, so we'll rule that one out.
So the Melrose course is ruled out. Let's see. I want to say the league meet's pretty difficult. It's there's a wall all the way in like the back corner that you have to try and get up. It's not too big, but it's like a very steep hill, and then you also have to go up a giant hill 3 other times in the race. So I want to say the league meet course at the Woburn Country Club.
Okay, I'm going to give it to you. What's the hardest course you?
I'll give Spencer an exception because I didn't know that we were also considering the league meet course because that one's really tough. I thought we were just talking about individual towns courses.
Can I guess?
Okay. Oh,
yes.
Well, can I guess? Burlington.
Burlington's course is the worst. There's there's not even so many hills. There's just 2 ginormous hills that are like a quarter of a mile long, and it's not fun and it's the worst. But then there's also a lot of downhill, so I guess it makes up for it.
I know. I knew the answer to that because somebody told me that last year, so I cheated. At least I listened a little bit. That's good. I just want to switch to coaching in general. Coach Petrone has been around a while. He's done a great job with growing the program. What's something you've learned from Coach Petrone, Spence?
I want to say, he's taught a lot, really. Like, even if I don't know one exact thing, he's taught me a lot of how to just not even just be a better runner, but just kind of like a better person in general. He's always got an attitude to him that he doesn't hold like himself to a high standard. He holds the team to a high standard, and then he'll keep you there. And then if you meet them, then he'll kind of like raise those a little bit. But he helps the team function as in an individual sport, as you know, cross country and track is. He helps the team function as a team, which I think is very nice, and it helped me learn for my captaincy how to push the team to be more together instead of just individual.
Indeed.
Yeah, I gotta agree with holding us to a high standard. I think he's really taught me the importance of showing up and showing out and being there for everybody else, but also being accountable for myself. I mean, if I don't show up to practice, like he's made it clear, like the only person that you're hurting by not trying is yourself, right? He could care less if I gave up. I shouldn't say that. He obviously wants to see us succeed a lot, but he tries to really make it clear that like you have to want it. You have to want to do good and get better, and then you will.
Okay, good. I'm a high school coach. I coach baseball, JV baseball. What, not me in particular, but a coach just any high school coach. What advice, Spencer, would you give to a high school coach coming in and starting the job?
You're with high schoolers, it's difficult. They're going through so much. They've spent 4 years in the same place. They're gonna grow to learn each other. And so as a coach, if you're planning on just starting out and you're planning on keeping the job for a while or even doing good at the job, you're gonna need to get to know the team, which is a huge thing, because if you let the team get to know you and you get to know the team, then you'll be, I don't want to see like friends, because that's not exactly what all coaches should be, but you'll be closer and you'll have more of a bond where they can trust you with certain things. Like if they do bad, they can come to you, you can suggest something and they can change it. And that's really what being constructive without being too friendly or too negative is definitely.
I like that answer. Nice answer, Spencer. You got to top that one, Dean. Here you go. All you.
Yeah, that's a very good answer. I feel like it depends, because I know like there are some coaches that are like already a teacher at that school and then they'll go into coaching, or there's some coaches that will come from outside. I mean, we've had one of those with track and field over the past couple of years. So I think especially if you're coming from the outside, it's definitely really important to get to know the team and get to know everybody. You obviously want to have that connection with every individual member of the team. You don't want anyone to feel left out or isolated or alienated. But also, I feel like just getting involved like in the community really kind of cements your position like as the coach, and like that you want to be there, because we're obviously running as a team, but we're representing the high school, and I think that's a big part of any of these sports teams. I mean, it's really big to get to wear the jersey for Wilmington High School, so you got to really represent the town, and it's important to everybody.
I got to say, those are two really good answers. I like the way that he answered those questions. It's good I can learn, even though I'm a little bit old. You can teach the old dog new tricks. It's good to hear this from the student athletes, especially from my perspective as a coach as well as hosting these shows. So I'm almost ready to go on to the individual questions. But I do want to ask, what would you tell the parent or the student of a 7th or 6th grade child who wants to run cross country? I know cross country is not an easy thing. It's a lot of running. You're working hard. It's a lot of focus, a lot of individual effort. So Spencer, you'll start with you. What would you tell that student athlete? What's the positive? Why should they do cross country?
So if I was starting from scratch, I'd tell them, yeah, you do have to run 3.1 miles for the race. It is difficult, but the benefit is definitely the atmosphere that the team brings. Everyone on the team is so close. Like if you're a freshman, you're close with the seniors. Like there's no age gap really with any kid on the team. There's no like cliques like there would be in spring track with like the sprinters or anything. It's more the cross country team just clicks like that, and the atmosphere is there. And if you want like a family and automatic friends when you get into the high school, cross country is definitely up there.
All right, Dean, I'm going to throw this one to you. Same question, but I want you to tell me from talking to the parent of the athlete.
Well, talking to the parent, I mean, I would still say that would be a great opportunity to get your child into, Wilmington sports family. I think that we're very inclusive. Like, I mean, we already have 8th graders on the team. Not a lot of teams offer that at the high school. You know, I'm not knocking on the culture of any other sports. I mean, I know a lot of other athletes at the high school, and they have a great time too. But I think we're really close. All our team dinners, we just like to get together and have fun. I think it's a great opportunity. Just be included. You don't have to be the best runner or the best athlete. I mean, a lot of people stumble into cross country because they don't do any other sport, and it's just something they try and they fall in love with it. So I just would say just give it a shot.
Excellent answer. So now I get to do the fun part of my other show. I get to ask the individual answers to try to get to know the two of you a little bit better. Our audience will be happy to hear some of the answers. So we're going to start with Dean. So Spencer, you get the lucky draw because you'll get to hear all the questions before. Dean's going to hit them right off the top. So you get the tough ones. You'll get easy. Dean gets it tough. So Dean, start off. Former or present teammate you learned the most from?
I got to go with Jamison Burns. I still talk to him a lot, actually. He's over in Maryland right now. He just ran the Midnight Mile, but he's taught me so much. Because not only was he a great teammate, we always were neck and neck, always running with him. You know, as I got faster, he got faster. As he got faster, I got faster. So we grew as athletes together. But also, I mean, he was just a tremendous leader. And I think I lead differently than he did, but I take a lot from him. You know, he kind of established this culture that's on this team, and it's just been my job to keep it going.
Good. Shout out to Jamison Burns. What's something you've learned in cross country that you can apply to the classroom?
I guess just giving 100% of your effort. I mean, when we're out there racing, we have to leave everything out on the course. I mean, you know, if you push harder, you're going to take off a second or two, and if you relax towards the end, then you're going to lose a second or two. So same thing with school. I mean, if you're trying your hardest, you're going to put in great grades. You're going to see the results. And if you're kind of just like, you know, not putting in all your effort, you're not going to get as good of a result.
Okay, what other activities or sports activities that you do in high school, Dean?
Could you repeat the question? I'm sorry.
What other activities or sports do you do in the high school? I mumbled.
Well,
I'm sorry.
No,
I'm just kidding.
let's see. When I first got to the high school, my freshman year actually, the fall I did golf, and that was a interesting experience because especially my freshman year was like we're coming out of COVID, so the teams were all weird. The winter I played hockey. I love hockey. It's probably my favorite sport, even though I do track all 3 years. And then spring is when I picked up track. I still play hockey outside of the school. I'm also involved in a ton of clubs. I'm the president of the Rotary Club this year. I'm a co-president of the DECA Club. I'm the president of the Mock Trial Club. And I'm sure there's a bunch of other ones I'm forgetting. I'm the band president this year. So the band is a huge thing for me. Been in the band for all 4 years. I've been in the jazz band for 4 years, playing the piano and the saxophone. And starting my sophomore year, I helped start up the pep band, which is always a ton of fun. Everyone seems to enjoy that. That's probably one of the most important groups that I feel like I'm in outside of track and field.
And I will compliment you. The pep band is great. You guys have done a great job. this kid's a great musician. He sit at a piano and play just about anything. So I hate to compliment you like that, but sometimes you need to shout out people who are doing a great job. What's your favorite moment in cross country?
All right, well, if we're only including cross country and not track,
Just cross country.
probably I don't know. There's two moments that kind of stick out to me. There's Twilight. They're both from my sophomore year, but there's a Twilight meet our sophomore year. I just ran a really good race. I mean, I hadn't even broken 18 before. I think my PR at the time was like 18:30, and then I ended up running like 17:36, fighting alongside Jameson. I still remember to this day, it's probably the most painful race between cross country and track that I've ever ran. I mean, just unbearable pain, but I fought through it, and I was rewarded at the end. And the only other moment that also sticks out to me is the first time I won a dual meet was against Watertown 2 years ago. I finished first in the dual meet. It felt really good.
Okay. Anybody who's influenced you or coached you want to credit?
Let's see. Well, I want to credit Coach Brian Shepard. Hopefully that's not controversial, but he coached us with distance for about 2 years from my sophomore to junior year, and then he left. I think he's over at like a middle school in Brookline or something, but he was very helpful. He definitely set me off on the right path. I don't know. Also,
that's good. You don't
I think that's just good. That's one.
Walk-up song. If we're going to play a song before we introduce you to come onto the track, what are you going to play?
Probably We Bring the Boom by AJ and Big Justice.
What are you going to miss the most about cross country?
The people. Absolutely the people. I'm going to miss all my teammates. I miss all my teammates I graduated last year. Yeah. That's what makes it so big for me.
And what is the future hold for D. Ciampa?
Well, I mean, no commitments yet, but I have a scholarship opportunity for a D2 school, American International College, over in Springfield, Massachusetts. They have a D2 running program that would be track and field and cross country. I think it'd be an amazing opportunity. I'm still looking around. My main aspiration is to study music, which unfortunately isn't really an option there, but I would be able to study music, say, at UMass Amherst or UMass Lowell has a great music tech program, so kind of all over the place, but I'm getting my applications in.
Good. All right, Spencer, you're next on a hot seat for the second time in 2 years. Spencer Bagtaz, former teammate or present teammate that you learned the most from?
I'm going to have to say Michael Dinan on that one. Last year, he improved so much. He showed that he wanted to be there, and his work and the numbers show that he wanted to be there. And so that really helped for this year, because in the past couple of years, I've been, off and on. The injuries last year made me struggle to actually still show up to practice and be committed. But after seeing Michael Dinan last year, it changed my perspective and how I looked at the team this year.
Hey, shout out to MD Money. Good. What's something you learned in cross country that you could take into the classroom?
Keep going, no matter what. Even with my straight and quad, I still went to PT like every day. I wanted to get back to the sport. It was rough being out. Even my sophomore year, I had such improvement because I just didn't give up, and just keep going is something that I'll take. Okay, what other sports or activities did you do at the high school? So freshman year, I was only in the band in the fall, which is a big thing. I've been in the band all 4 years. I'm the director's assistant this year in the band. I'm assuming I'll be in the pep band this year. I was in the pep band the past 2 years we've done it. What else? And then in the winter, I've swam all 4 years. I'm a big swimmer. And then in the spring, all 4 years, I've done spring track as well. And then I'm also a co-president of the DECA club that we have. And then I'm the treasurer of the Rotary Interact Club as well. Okay, you guys are really busy, I have to say. I'm impressed. You got a lot going on in your lives. Spencer, favorite moment of cross country? There's a lot of good moments on the cross country team. I want to say that my favorite moment, I want to say just like Frank Kelly in general. Like that meet, not like Frank Kelly the guy, but he's a great guy. We have there's a cross country invitational named after him because of how impactful he was to the sport. And that's only a 3K, so that's 1.8 miles. And I love, in the spring, I do more like kind of like the mile. So that faster paced running is what I like. And even though I got injured at that meet last year, it was still the 3 Frank Kelly meets that I've been to have been some of the best meets I've ever had. Okay. Next question is influences. Coach, you want to credit?
How'd you get to this point?
I want to thank my mom. My mom, I talked to her like the summer of my freshman year, and then she eventually convinced me to do cross country, which was a big thing. So I wouldn't even be here right now if it wasn't for her. Spring of freshman year. And then a coach, I want to say Coach Patrone, really. Coach Patrone and Coach Kinney, they've just both been great for my running career. And without them, I also wouldn't be here.
Okay, what's Spencer Bagtaz's walk-up song?
I want to say this year, All of the Lights is by Kanye has been a good one. That's been a song on the team, and so I think I'd take that as my walkout song.
All right. What are you going to miss the most? What's Spencer Bagtaz going to miss the most?
The team dynamic, definitely. Like Dean and I have both said, it's a big part of the cross-country team outside of the sport, and even inside the sport, we're always together no matter what. You'll see teammates walking together in the halls. It's like we are really kind of like this close-knit family.
Okay, what are you going to miss the most? Oh, no. What's the future hold for you? I'm sorry.
I'm looking to swim in college. I'll definitely run on the side, but like as a college athlete, I'm looking to swim. I've swam since I've been 8, so that's.
What do you want to study though?
What I want to study, I want to go into either a business or a marketing. I want to study marketing in college.
And have you narrowed down your choices?
I'm looking at some big marketing schools. There's some in around Boston. I also looked up at a school in Maine that is offering me a position on the swim team, which is also a good business school. So I'm looking all over the place.
That's good. Good. You guys have both maybe college athletes. It's nice to hear from the Wilmington High School. Now comes my favorite time of the show. We're going to get you to do a shout out. Dean, you're going to look straight into that camera. I'm going to give you the go. And Spencer, you're going to straight into this camera. Shout at anybody you want. If you forget somebody and they watch this, it's your problem, not mine. But we're going to get ready to go. So you ready, Dean?
All right. Just rattle them off. All right. Shout out my dad, my mom, my sister, and Mr. Kinney.
All right. Spencer.
I'm going to shout out my mom, my brother, my sister, and all the coaches I've had ever.
That's awesome.
Well, that's cheap.
Oh, come on. We have enough of that. No fighting here now. We stopped the fight. It was great having you guys in. Very well spoken. You really represent Wilmington athletics and Wilmington body in general, because I know you're both band members and do a lot of things, DECA and Rotary Interact and all that stuff. So it's great to have Dean Ciampa and Spencer Bagtaz with us. Thanks for coming in. And for Wildcat Sports Update, I'm your host, Jim Boyle, and we'll see you on down the road.